What's up, Leafs Nation? Welcome back to another game preview. I'm Zack Phillips, and today we're going to be digging into game number 17 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season as they go head-to-head with the Ottawa Senators for the first time this season. I'm excited about this one. Look, the Leafs traditionally play down to their opponents. They're on top of that, there's also certain teams that just always seem to have the Leafs number, whether it be the Senators, the Habs, or just the Boston Bruins, these teams where to us as fans, it means so much in these rivalries. These games where we are so passionate about beating that team and taking down that fan base. And yet every time we've watched this team in years past, it's felt like they have not carried over that same level of intensity to the game as we have to cheering and screaming at our TVs. This Leafs team, as I sit here right now, and prepare to say some foolish stuff that's going to get my heart broken and have people clip stuff up and come to the game later and say, you're such an idiot. This team feels, dare I say, different. This team took care of the Detroit Red Wings on Friday night. They took care of the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday night. And I know that the first feedback I'm going to get and have got has been, well, that's the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens. Yes, but the Leafs don't win those games. The Leafs don't win those games with that level of ease. The Leafs don't show up and control the pace of play. They don't dictate the style of game. They go into a back-to-back and get their teeth kicked in all the way around. Like, this is not what we are used to seeing from this Leafs group the last couple of days. Coming off a win against the Boston Bruins without Auston Matthews, following it up on a weekend where you have all excuses built in for the slow start, the Hall of Fame game, ceremonies pre-game, all that kind of stuff would allow for this team to say, hey, you know what? We had every reason to not show up on time. And the Red Wings got the best of us, blah, blah, blah. Didn't happen. Didn't allow it to be the case. This game against the Sens tonight, although the Bruins was a bigger test for me personally, and then seeing just how they did in general was another test to kind of say, okay, can you continue this momentum? This one is kind of like the final box. Whether they win or lose is not really that important to me. Obviously, it would be much nicer to move from 9-5-2 to 10-5-2 rather than sticking at the 9 and going 9-6-2 or 9-5-3, whatever it breaks out to be. But the way that they show up and play here tonight will be really, really intriguing and a huge kind of question answering period for Leafs fans, especially including myself, about who is this team, what is their makeup, what is their character, and are they buying into what Craig Berube is selling? I'm really looking forward to this game here tonight. We'll break it all down here, Leafs Nation After Dark, on the post-game show on this channel. We'll be joined by Carter Hutton. But until then, that's just kind of my precursor dialogue of what the game might be here tonight and why I'm actually finally excited for like a Leafs Sens game on a Tuesday night. Let's dig into the lineups presented by Daily Faceoff. So, taking a look over at what we've got for the forward groups here tonight, the carousel begins. Max Pacioretty, week to week, will not be returning anytime soon here. They're going to continue to evaluate him. I think it's probably just smartest, no matter what happens, to give him an opportunity to come back, recover, make sure you're back at 100% health. Fine by me. I got no issues there. Do what you got to do, Patches. Take your time on recovery. He looked so good in the time he was here. I'm hoping it's nothing too serious and it's just kind of precautionary stuff that's going to hold him out week to week. We'll find out with time, obviously, but he will not play. We thought there would be a swap. Pacioretty IR, Matthews back. Tuesday, he's eligible. Unfortunately, no. Matthews will not go here tonight. So, the first line, Matthew Knies, Max Domi, Mitch Marner. The second line, we're going to kind of head back to where we were, or kind of in the direction of what we were at the beginning of the season. Obviously, you swapped Domi and Tavares because Domi was the second line center on this group. But now you're going to get McMahon, Tavares, and Nylander. They've got some familiarity with each other. We've seen these guys go out as a unit in last season towards the end. Like, they got some opportunities. When Bobby gets hot, he gets some opportunities up on the second line. No issues there. Bobby is also the perfect guy to kind of fit into that workhorse type role like Pacioretty, hard on the forecheck, finish your hits, win corner battles, win board battles, like making sure you're involved in all those aspects of the game. Bobby McMann is a pretty good replacement for Pacioretty here. As long as he can kind of get his game going back in the right direction, I've got no issues. I've talked about it in previous shows, whether it's pre-games or post-games. I still trust Bobby McMann. I don't think that what he did, I just don't think that what he's done so far to start this season is who Bobby McMann is. I feel like it's a lull to start this season, and it's going to pick back up. So I'm fine with him hopping into the second line. But here is where the shakeups begin. Starting with the third line, Nick Robertson, Pontus Holmberg, Connor Dewar. Connor Dewar makes his season debut here tonight. He's going to play right wing as slotted as of right now with Holmberg and Robertson. I'm just going to be honest. This is where the problems start to happen. I've had issues with the third line the past couple of games. Connor Dewar fitting in for McMahon, who then goes to the first line. This is not solving much for me. I like Connor Dewar. I think he's an upgrade over Pontus Holmberg. Having them now play here on the same line because you have to have a guy from your third line go to your second line, like, it's not ideal. Let's just be open about what's happening here. I like Dewar being back. I look forward to seeing what he can bring. In the perfect world, it's for me, Dewar here at center. McMahon can come down onto the second line, and Holmberg, everybody else kind of shuffles down through, and you can bump some guys back out. It just increases your level of play, the depth that you have. Right now, it's kind of being stretched a little bit thin. It's not great. I mean, this third line, I don't really have high expectations for them tonight, and I'm to an extent here, I'm actually kind of worried. Robertson not being able to score. I know on the morning show, Nick gave out Nick Robertson anytime goal. Fair enough. I mean, at some point here, he's probably going to score, and then everyone on Twitter is going to tell us, you guys are such idiots. Robertson, he's going to score 35, 40 goals in this league. That's fine. He's not really shown us quite yet that he can do so, and we're still waiting on that second goal this year. Pontus Holmberg has struggled thus far to start the season, and Connor Dewar has not really played. So, not trying to just absolutely torch these guys, but through 16 games, this third line has left a lot to be desired. They have made us feel like there is kind of this level of play that they may not be able to get to when it comes to some of the physicality level of it and offensive generation. They're just lacking in that department. Who knows? Maybe at some point it just clicks and they wake up and get it going, but I have concerns tonight. I will be very honest about that. Fourth line, Steven Lorentz, David Kampf, Ryan Reeves. Keeping it consistent with what they've had over the past little while. I think that the fourth line has looked fine. They've spent a lot of time in the other team's offensive zone, in the offensive zone in the other team's end throughout the first portion of this season. I think that they've looked good. I feel like they can continue to add elements to their game, but they're not getting their teeth kicked in, and that has been a huge bonus because in years past, there's been times where we've watched them scramble in their own zone for 30, 40, 45 seconds. Then the group is tired, you got to ice the puck, and then another team's first line, second line comes out, and it's in the back of your net. That's not how you want to be going throughout a game. If you can put the pressure on the other team and win those battles, you can put your fourth line out against third and second lines for other groups, then that is a huge win for this Leafs team. I'm interested to see how Reeves is going to handle the fighting here tonight, if any. There are some guys on the Senators who are maybe some fake tough guys, let's say, who might want to say, yeah, we get involved in this, we create this kind of stuff, but they don't want to stick up for it, don't want to handle it themselves. And there is a little bit of carryover from whatever happened last year. If that's going to be the case going into tonight's game, we'll kind of see if any of that follows through. And then obviously Brady Tkachuk is willing to go anybody and everything. I have got tremendous amount of respect for Brady Tkachuk. There's no shots at him there at all, but he's a willing combatant. Ryan Reeves a willing combatant. Will they go feels like tonight's probably still not the night, but there is at least a Suter on the other end. That is how the forward lines break out. That's kind of the biggest chunk of everything for me here tonight that I wanted to look at. As for our D, nothing is changing, right? Morgan Riley, Ekman Larson, Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev, Simone Benoit, Connor Timmins. We've talked about it a bunch of times. Timmins has looked really good. He's going to slot into that 5-6 pair. Looking great so far. Hakanpää's nearing a return. So if you want to show Craig Berube that you deserve to be in this lineup and not be taken out, now is the time. Make sure you get those games in right now and prove you're the guy. You're the one who needs to stay here. You're going to get an opportunity because he's knocking at the door, and you got to really show Craig Berube and step up in this period of time. That's it for our lines. Obviously, power play and everything is going to stay the same. They've been very, very, very successful over the last little while. Haven't really generated overly much at 5-on-5, but the special teams has looked great for this group. We're going to get likely Anthony Stolars. He is projected to go in tonight's game. I mean, the guy's been an absolute stud. Linus Ullmark confirmed on the other side for the Senators. Going to get a little bit of a goalie battle, and it's going to kind of lead me in the direction of maybe looking at something like an under 6 here in tonight's game. It just feels like a lower scoring kind of head-to-head battle where you're just going to duke it out. Defense has been playing very, very well for this Leafs team. I feel like the Sens have at least been above average in that area. They're not kind of just getting steamrolled, and then Linus Ullmark back there for them. That's going to help them a lot, limiting goals against. So there are some positives for them as of right now, leading me to think about that 6 could be a number, but that's not my best bet tonight. Let's get to our best bet segment, brought to you by Bet365. Proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. That's code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Make sure to check out Bet365. But we are going to head on over to the Bet365 page, and we're going to go all the way down to the Leafs game here tonight. I mean, you don't even have to go that far. You're just going to actually have to just click on the NHL segment, which is very, very, very easy to do considering how easy Bet365 is to navigate and plenty of sports, plenty of options to be betting on right now. College basketball, college football. So those are some of the ones that I'm dabbling in outside of the NHL itself. Obviously the NFL. But tonight, focus, Leafs Sens, top of the NHL page. You're going to click in there. We're going to go over to the player props market. We're going to get rid of the goal scorers. Don't need to see that. We're going to go to shots on goal, over unders, and we're going to scroll down. We're looking at a Leafs player here tonight, yet again, obviously. This is a guy that you may say, wait, what? We're betting on that guy's shots on goal? Hear me out. He has stepped up in the absence of Austin Matthews. He has added a couple elements to his game and a mindset to his game without 34 in the lineup. Now, I feel like we've kind of looked at in the past and being like, why does he always do that? Why is he deferring? Why is he doing that? Won't he take opportunities? No. Does he have the most lethal shot? He doesn't. But you know what always helps you? Putting pucks on net. And it felt like year after year after year, game after game after game, this guy just wouldn't do that. Mitch Marner, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 105. We're going to do this for 3/4 of a unit. So the way I'm doing this, we're going to risk $78.75. That is to profit 75 here tonight. It's close to the plus 100. This is the first minus number bet that we're giving out this season. Mitch, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 105. I think that this is probably close to a fair number, just based on what he has done in the past. I feel like here, over this stretch without Austin Matthews, this is a little bit short, and we can get some value on this. Mitch has been shooting it a lot more. He has stepped up into a more prominent role. He is playing on the first power play unit and actually having to put pucks through towards the front of the net. I feel like there is an element of, hey, maybe here tonight he defers, and that's going to be something where we come on the post-game show and say, Bad night, bad read. Mitch decided not to go that direction. Mitch decided to play a different type of game. But right now, he's shooting the puck more. He's much more involved in the offense from a pucks on net perspective. I want to say, like, that sounds so stupid to say, but it's true. And I feel like that just continues here tonight. Power play 1. He's one of the shooters on that line. Max Domi doesn't shoot. Marner has to. He's got to step up. Mitch, over 2.5 shots on goal, -105 is the best bet here tonight. $78.75 wins you $75. Profits you $75. So far on the season, we are 5-12. 17 bets given out through 16 games. This is now bet number 18. 5-12, but I know people are going to absolutely get dunk on me and you're going to get all mad, and I get it. Oh, 5-12. We're not worried about the record. I could care less about the record. I'll be real honest with you. I'm firing out some plus money stuff here. This is the first one, -105. We're firing out plus money stuff. 5-12. We're just down 0.5 units right now. Unit sizes of $100, we're down 0.5 units. So if you're betting along with the unit sizes and tracking everything accordingly with how much we're confident in these plays, the size of the plus money, like how much we could potentially win, you're risking properly, risking responsibly, you're down 0.5 units with us. That's not that much. We can get this back, no problem here. So $78.75 profits you $75 tonight. Mitch Marner over 2.5 shots on goal, -105. That's tonight's best bet. If you did enjoy the show here, if you did enjoy the breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, send this around, whatever you got to do. We appreciate it as always. Turn on notifications. We'll be back here following tonight's game against the Senators around 9:45 p.m. Eastern time, a 7 p.m. puck drop between these two teams. But, 7 p.m. is never really 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is like 7:12 or 7:14 or some nonsense like that. So subscribe here, turn on notifications, and then when we don't go live at 9:45 because the game actually started late, you'll know the minute we go live. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Thank you so much. I'll be back here following tonight's game with Carter Hutton to break everything down. Enjoy it tonight. We'll see you for the post game. As always, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.